Hi, my name is Natty Nebula, and in this video, I'm showing you what's a manga updated. So hello there, and welcome back. This would be, yes, an updated video of a previous video, probably one of the first videos I ever posted, entitled, What's a Manga? And basically, to say the least, that this video is more like an introductory to manga and whatnot, so why don't we jump right into it? A manga, it is a comic that originated in Japan. They are drawn by Japanese manga artists, or they are called mangaka. Mangaka. It kind of can roll off the tongue kind of weird, so it's just what they're called. You know, we call them manga artists, and sometimes you might hear someone say manga. Oh God, I have to watch myself. Ooh. No, the correct pronunciation is manga. I mean, I'm not gonna jump down your throat if you say manga, because at first I thought it was that as well. But anyways, to give you a little history on what, how manga came to be. It goes far back, sorry, I have to look down again in case you're inquiring. It goes far back into the 19th century, but manga's actual start and creation has many different sources to go on. There is a theory that, like, when Disney was here developing it in the 40s over here in the States, and with things that were going on with tensions between the States and Japan in the 40s, there was like an influx of comics that ended up in Japan, from US soldiers. That is just one of many sources that people, go on as far as where manga could have originated from. But I also want to point out that most notable mangaka or manga artists that jump-started manga to mainstream in Japan is noted, as Osamu Tezuka, who created Astro Boy, and we have Machiko Hasegawa, who created Saze-san. And that's just, a little bit of history. Manga, it's always had its popularity, but I feel like sorry, sometimes I touch my hair because it's like an anxiety coping mechanism. Anyways, its explosion in popularity happened most notably in the 90s. You have series like Dragon Ball and Sailor Moon, Yu Yu Hakusho that come out, and you also have series like Great Teacher, Onizuka, Trigun, Ghost in the Shell, Fruits Basket, Inuyasha, Oh My Goddess, and Detective Conan. It's like that's when, anime started like really exploding, especially with the first two that I mentioned, which would be Dragon Ball and Sailor Moon. Those are like hailed as like the holy grail of mangas, and in another video we'll talk about animes. But Dragon Ball and Sailor Moon are, they're like the first things that really got anime and manga also popular over here in the United States. They are what inspired other manga artists. So that's just another little spillage of history and commentary. Now we're gonna move on to the characteristics of a manga. So usually with manga comics, they are printed in black and white paper books, but the cover, like the cover that you see here in one of these, it's in color. But if I take a look, sorry, this is kind of old, so you're gonna see some yellow, but it's fine, it's all right. If you open it up, you see a bunch of black and white panels, and they are read from right to left over in Japan. And honestly, there was a point in time where I was reading so much manga from right to left, I forgot that when I'm, had to read like a regular United States printed book, published book, it's left to right. So I was like, oh, right, this is what we're doing. Or I think it may have been a comic book or something that I was reading. Pretty sure it was Booster Gold, but yeah. But that's just a sorry, I was like, oh, where was I going with this? Okay, so the characters that you see with manga, they're usually drawn with large and expressive eyes that have like over dramatized expressions and whatnot. And, you know, they'll have like distinctive clothing and hair, you know, to make them look different, because also with that, going with, you know, some of the history involved of it, because a lot of manga artists were also inspired by comics like Spider-Man and Superman and Batman, you know, over here in the States. So, you know, they're following the same similar but different formula, you know, with manga. And these series are, you know, serialized in magazines. So you have magazines that are like Shonen Weekly or Monthly Shonen Jump or V Jump. You know, I'll get into like Shonen and Shoujo in just a moment. And then you have like Betsukami or Cheese, and that company is Gakukan. Sorry, I hope I didn't butcher that too much. But you have like many different imprints for like many different tastes. And you know, these companies, they're like so many different companies. Like Shueisha does Shonen Jump and V Jump, and I'm only like touching like the tip of the iceberg when it comes to some of these places. So manga comics, they usually are ongoing series. So at any point you may have like one comic just by itself. That's referred to as a one shot. So a 2-volume series, you know, it's a series, but a one volume is like a one shot. You know, basically like its Western counterparts, where more than one volume is a series, stuff like that. And now we're about to get on to categories. Okay, so categories. There's like many different kinds of categories, but I'm gonna stick to the main 4 just for this video, so I don't take you too far down the rabbit hole, as to say. So we'll start with shonen manga. Now, shonen manga is manga that is geared towards adolescent boys, but you know, it can be enjoyed by adults too. Its primary focus is on action and adventure, but you know, there are subgenres like music or sports that are involved. You know, the main character is usually male and there's very to little romance involved. Sorry, I keep looking down. I just don't want to forget anything. So examples of like, you know, shonen manga, we're gonna say D. Gray Man, Naruto, One Piece, Bleach, and newer ones like My Hero Academia, Dr. Stone, and Seraph of the End. And, you know, shonen manga, it, you know, it's, oh gosh, it's so good. It's not just for male, you know, the male gaze, you know, girls can enjoy it too. It's for any gender. So I just wanted to, you know, slip that, you know, in just in case, because I have my fair share of shonen series that I love, and Bleach is definitely one of them. And when I found out they're, you know, we're coming back with the sequel anime series, I'm sorry, I know I'm supposed to be talking about manga, but you know, it gets really exciting. But we're gonna say manga sorry, anime for a different video. Now, you have shoujo manga, and shoujo manga is usually geared towards adolescent girls, but you know, same rule, it can be enjoyed by any genre or, I said any gender, or anyways, you know what I meant. It can be enjoyed by everyone. It primarily focuses on romance, but it also deals with a lot of inferior or interior conflict with the main character, and the main character is also usually female. Examples of shoujo manga include, you know, Sailor Moon, Ouran High School Host Club, Nana, and Otomen. And then you have your adult centered manga like seinen and yosei, if I'm saying that right. Seinen is more for young men that are ages 18 to 40, and you know, those, and with yosei, it's, you know, women 18 to 40. Those are just the demographics that are most commonly used in Japan. But you know, these series, they typically feature more sex and violence and stronger language that you might not see in like shoujo and shonen. And like some examples of like seinen manga are like Gantz and Elfen Lied or Lied. I never knew which one was the correct way to say that series. And then with Yosei, examples of that series would include Paradise Kiss and Princess Jellyfish. So, well, those are just examples. Yeah, I think I hit everything. Okay, you know, okay, there is another thing. You have like, you know, there's other countries that also get involved with the game of manga. You know, but it's called different in other countries. Like say if an American artist makes a manga, I believe the correct terminology is original English language. And with Korea, they have like manhwa. I believe I'm saying it like that, correct? They also have other ways that they would call it in France too, and in China as well. So before I go, I wanted to also include like, you can find, like if you're looking for manga, you can find it wherever books are sold. So they might have it at your local grocery store. It's possible that it might not be there, but you can also look in places, like if you're here in the United States, for sure, you can look at places like Walmart. They might have it at Meijer, depending on, you know, your regional location. They might have it maybe at a Publix store, you know, I think that's like down south. They might have it at like I think we have BJ's here in Michigan. I'm trying to think of stores in like other states. I'm sorry. So I know Walmart and Meijer, those are common. You know, you can also go to Barnes and Nobles. Borders, you know, isn't around anymore, but they have places like Books A Million. You can also, you know, obviously go to Amazon. You can, you know, I can also apply links to this video as well. I think that's what I'm probably going to do, you know, just to make it easier on you, especially if you're like new and unsure. And if you ever need recommendations, please feel free to comment down below. And I mean, I am going to do a video on recommendations as stated in the first video in this playlist. I just, you know, it feels a little bit more, you know, one-on-one when you leave a comment, but I don't know how many comments to expect. So it's just something, and I'm just trying to make sure I don't forget anything. Also, like I said before, you don't have to stick to what manga might be appearing in your demographic. So, because as you can see, I have a shoujo and a shonen. So it's up to you, your personal preference and what you like. You never have to put yourself in a box for anything or anyone. You know, manga is meant to be enjoyed and consumed for people for, you know, I think of it maybe as entertainment. But, you know, some people put their whole life into these stories. A lot of these stories are inspired by the storytellers before them. Like, you know, the author of like Naruto, One Piece, or Bleach. Some of them were inspired by the author that created Dragon Ball. And, you know, never feel like you have to be, you know, confined. Like, be free with it, choose with it. And for one more note for my parents that might be watching, please be mindful, you know, of the content and rating if you are introducing your kid to manga and you don't want them to pick up something like Gantz or Berserk, or you don't want them to pick up something like a yaoi or yuri manga, because those mangas usually feature, you know, strong sexual content. And that's just goes without saying. That also applies to seinen and yosei, like as I said before. So you know, just want to look at the ratings and make sure you're not picking up something that may not be age appropriate, because, you know, manga is, you know, for kids, you know, like Pokemon and Yu-Gi-Oh and Digimon and all of those, and maybe Doraemon, but I don't know. You know, it's up to the parents. I just felt like I should do a little, you know, disclaimer just to do a disclaimer. But with, sounds like we are out of time. So I just wanted to say thank you very much for watching this little video. I know it was a little bumpy, had some bumps in the way, but I appreciate you sticking with me. And, you know, I'm excited to post this video and can't wait to, you know, see what you guys think. Please let me know in the comments section what you think, what you like, or what stuck out to you, or, you know, if this was an absolute train wreck. You can, I mean, try not to make me cry. No, I'm not gonna cry. Or will I? Anyways, so thanks so much. Bye, loves.